What was that? Hello, I am the Irish guy. This is the Prem Catchup. Let's see what happened in the Premier League this weekend. And oh boy. Right, let's go. Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1. Wow. Lads, when Aston crashed home that winning goal for Chelsea, for Liverpool fans, it must have felt like chewing on a skunk, because this is the second Premier League match in a row where you've lost to a last-minute goal. I mean, for a team who are constantly winning matches in the final minutes, and this karma swingback must feel like finding a squirrel's toe in your cornflakes. Liverpool were the autumn kings of breaking people's hearts in the final minutes. But now, you're absolutely tasting your own medicine. When Rio did it against Newcastle, it absolutely tasted like chewing on cooked chicken poo. And once Esteban sank that goal to the back post, then yeah, I bet some Liverpool fans would sooner probably agree to go back in time to get eaten by a dinosaur. So there. Now I guess you know, Liverpool fans. Yeah, now you know what it feels like to have your heart broken by a teenage boy. A pain now shared by Liverpool, Newcastle and Philip Schofield. What? To be fair though, that winning goal actually made me feel like a genius. Because let's be real, okay? When we all watch football, sitting there covered in ice cream and shame, we all sound like a bunch of popcorn brain doofuses. Seriously, lads, I'm a bit scared of live streams, because I would imagine if there was a camera on me during a match, then watching it back would be more embarrassing than putting my baby photos on a billboard. I'm guessing we all say things more stupid than the dialogue in the Harry Potter film. But, when I was watching the Chelsea game, I was proven to sound smarter than a science geek. Because when Chelsea kept flashing crosses across the 6-yard box with nobody there to tap home, I was saying that first Pedro Neto and then Estevao should absolutely be arriving at the back post for an easy tap-in. I mean, that's what Raheem Sterling made his career on. Arriving at the back post for ugly tap-ins every single week at the end he had. Seriously, that man was the king of simple goals. I mean, of all the players who scored 100 plus goals in this league, then I think Sterling has the most amount of scruffy goals in his catalogue. And well, I know that Enzo Maresca has since decided that he's no better than banana juice and is quite happy to let him drop with the children for a year. But hey, he'd have got a goal on Saturday. I said Estevao should have been getting into that back post. And guess what happens? He does exactly that in the last minute. I wish there'd been a camera on me to catch my genius armchair coaching, because I'd have probably got a job for Wrexham off the back of that. But look, this did feel like a huge moment for Chelsea. Seriously, Estevao milked that moment so much. I'm surprised he didn't immediately whip out a bowl of cereal, because Christ, he hugged about 15 different people before leaving the pitch. It didn't feel like this was just a kid bagging a winning goal. Oh no. It felt like he'd done something huge. Like, I don't know, rescued a baby from the jaws of a tiger at the zoo. It felt like Estevao had successfully managed to resuscitate a choking granny on the bus. He was absolutely being treated as a king. And lads, we had Enzo Maresca getting sent off for going full Jose, racing down the touchline to celebrate with his players. Something Mourinho did at Old Trafford as Porto boss in 2004. Look, I know he left his technical area short, but really, are you really going to brandish a red card because he celebrated with his own players? Has the world gone mad? Why are these managers contained in such tight areas anyway? Like they're animals at a zoo? If Enzo was invading Arnie Schlott's space to nick a custard cream from his lunchbox, then maybe, but he ran off to his own corner flag in his own stadium. Choosing to punish him like that is wild. The referee was acting like a strict stuffy mum who catches their teenage daughter sneaking out the window to meet her fella in the park. No, Maresca is a grown man with a wife and kids, probably, telling him where he can't go in his own stadium. It's like me bursting into your house and telling you that, oh no, you're not allowed in the loo, and that you'll just have to go and make it in the sink. I actually think that decision makes the referee look like the most boring plank of wood. I loved Enzo's celebration, and this felt like the biggest moment at Stamford Bridge since what? Reece James leveling in that crazy 4-4 with Ajax in 2019. Actually, no, it's bigger than that, okay? This is much bigger than scraping a draw with a Dutch club. No, this is probably the loudest Stamford Bridge has been since what? Fernando Torres scored a last-minute winner against Man City in 2013. Seriously, this was massive. What a win for Chelsea. Well, for Liverpool, this is your 13th defeat of 2025 alone. Yeah, Crystal Palace have lost 5. You know, the club you've been trying to steal their star center back from. Liverpool went a whole year unbeaten under Klopp, but here, 13 defeats since January, and it ain't even Halloween. That does seem crazier than someone asking their wife to dress up as the naughty professor on date night. Lads, when I think of Liverpool being at their ultimate rock bottom, I think of 2010, the Hodgson era where they were circling the relegation zone at Halloween. 16 defeats in that calendar year. Yeah, now, if the reigning Premier League champs lose just 4 more games between now and New Year's Eve, they will statistically have lost more matches than that mess of a team from 2010. You know, the one with Konchesky at left back? Yeah, well, right now, there's another left back you bought from a mid-table club whose name also begins with K, and who's also performing like a steaming bag of vegetables. People said that Trent could not defend. Yeah, Liverpool fans were just waiting to laugh at him for struggling at the Bernabeu, whilst they could finally replace him with an actually solid right back. Yeah, No. Since Alexander-Arnold left, the Liverpool backline have looked like a bunch of drunk teddy bears. Jeremy Frimpong was bought as a right back when he's actually a right wing back. The Dutchman is a specialist position. He ain't disciplined enough to be a defender, and he ain't good enough to be a winger. Frimpong is a quality right wing back, where he can show off the fact that he's got the lungs of a cow. This is somebody who would ironically excel under Ruben Amorim, but under Arne Slot. Oh no, this is like gifting a toaster to someone who's allergic to bread. Wirtz has not settled. In fact, the German is giving the whiff of Di Maria vibes. An undoubtedly extraordinary footballer. But as soon as they step foot on English soil, oh no, they now look more lost and confused than a tourist accidentally stumbling onto the set of Paddington Bear. Isak once again chucked in a performance more anonymous than the guy who wrote Captain Underpants. Seriously, me try to ask you to pinpoint something amazing that Isak has done since joining. Oh no, it'd be about as fruitless as me asking you to describe what Dr. Seuss looks like. Yeah, nobody knows. Sure, the media tried to give Isak a glorious assist for the Gakpo goal.
Oh, how did he have the awareness to know the Dutchman was lurking behind him? Was he dragging the ball down for him to score?
No, I'm sorry lads, but £130 million strikers do not share, especially when they're in the midst of a 6th-month Premier League goal drought. It's like expecting to pitch a chicken nugget off Big Sam's plate. I'd rather test my luck reaching into a sewer to take a balloon of Pennywise the Clown. But seriously lads, it's now been over half a year since Isak last scored in this division. Over 6 months since he netted a penalty against Brighton on the 4th of May. I love it, I'm sorry, but I'm absolutely here for the Isak failure. Of every single current Premier League team, Isak has only scored against 4 of them since mid-January. I'm sorry, but that is music to my ears. It's like listening to Mozart in the bath. It's beautiful. I am here for the Isak downfall, and so for every week that he does not score, oh, it feels like I'm chowing down on gorgeous ice cream. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. He needs to be dropped. Liverpool need to get Iketika into the team. Somebody who is actually on fire. Choosing to dump him to the bench just because of a vain celebration. Seriously? Punishing someone for taking off his shirt? I think Slot is just jealous, considering he's definitely someone who leaves his t-shirt on when he goes swimming at the beach. And this kind of stinks of the last time Liverpool won the league, right? Because both teams, Liverpool took their foot off the gas for the final month. The drop-off in 2020 looked shaky, but last season, taking 2 points from a final 12 was terrible. The drop-off in 2020 followed into the next year, where yes, they started well initially, with 3 wins in a row, but then conceded 7 at Villa Park, never recovered, and by the spring, they were losing 6 home games in a row. Yeah, that was a season where the Reds were frighteningly light at centre-back. Yeah, what's changed? Because on Saturday, Slot finished the match with Ryan Gravenberch as centre-back, which absolutely stinks of 2020 when they were reigning champs. They kept picking Jordan Henderson as centre-back. Is this just what Liverpool do? Do they win the league and their follow-up effort is about as meek as watching a chipmunk trying to box? Man United 2, Sunderland 0. Banana skin avoided. Well, not this one. This one's been here for months. But no, for Man United, wow. Lads, I did not envy the pressure that Ruben Amorim was under on the morning of this match. When everyone is screaming that he should be sacked, then to be given a massively winnable match is kind of scary, actually. Because if you don't win it, you know you're probably gone. If Manchester United lost at home to Sunderland, then the level of anti-Amorim feeling in the world would have been huge. You'd have had Amorim out getting spray painted on every bus stop. Even his own wife would probably be like Amorim out posts on Twitter. Losing to Sunderland would be a huge career disaster. It's like if a man is in the doghouse clinging to his failing marriage, and then when things are already massively on the rocks, his wife comes home from work to find he's used her wedding dress to mop up spilled Cocoa Pops. Yeah, you'd better start downloading Bubble to your phone, buddy. Look, this was a must-win for Amorim. And he did that, so well done. Newcastle 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Oh, Ange Postecoglou must feel like a sweaty little beaver right now. Even more than usual. Nottingham Forest rock up to Newcastle, clearly with the sole goal of defending. And they did well in the first half, but in the second, they could not stop the best goal of Bruno G's life. A beautiful screamer into the top corner in a match where Tonali run the show. And then with the clock ticking down, a boyhood Newcastle fan, Elliot Anderson, clatters Bruno in the box to give away a needless penalty. And then after Nick Multimata smashes it so top bins that if there was no net, it would have probably knocked out an alien on the moon. Oh, Elliot is then seen laughing with the Newcastle players at full time. Really? So I haven't been more bemused by Geordie's decision-making this weekend since I sat through that Charlie Hunnam Netflix show.
Yeah, I got to sit through 8 hours of him speaking like this in such an annoying way as he dug up things from a graveyard.
I'm traumatized, to be fair, okay? I wasn't able to finish my Buddha Special K on Sunday morning. But look, if I'm a Forest fan, then to see Anderson shamelessly give away a penalty against his dream club, ouch. This was also the week where Eddie Howe was saying that he would love to have Anderson back. So yeah, this was dodgier than asking Will and Eve if you'd like to watch Saw. Yeah, I watched the podcast where apparently he's chronically allergic to gore. Well, must have been a nightmare at school trying to sit through an inconvenient truth. What? Come on, that's clever. That's highbrow comedy. But look, Postecoglou is clinging to his job, and I feel bad for him. He's been in the building 3.5 weeks, and his own fans are wanting him to go. Look, Forest should never have sacked Nuno Santo, obviously. But Ange is here now, so to dump him after just 3.5 weeks would be insane. This isn't like the Russell Martin disaster, where yes, he hadn't been in Glasgow long, but come on, Rangers are 8th, having won just 1 of their 7 league matches. And even that was in the 94th minute away to Livingston. And he also lost his last 5 matches in Europe. So yeah, that was undeniable failure. So sure, Rangers should go out there and try and get Stevie G back. But Postecoglou, has he really been that bad? Sure, losing at home to Sunderland and FC Midtjylland on paper was poor, but everything else, defeats away to Arsenal and Newcastle and draws with Betis and Burnley, it's kind of expected. You're changing from a defensive style to a more expensive one, and you're expecting that to be fine-tuned and perfect within a month when some of your new signings aren't up to speed with match fitness? I'm sorry, but sacking him now would make the Forest hierarchy, and particularly the likes of Edu, who I'm guessing must have been promised a fat wage to quit Arsenal for this, it will make all of them look like potato brain chumps. Seriously, don't sack Ange after 3 weeks. It's lunacy. It's like serving your wife with divorce papers because she served you burnt scrambled eggs just 2 days after getting back from the honeymoon. What? Bournemouth 3, Fulham 1. Bournemouth are class. Andoni Iraola is an absolute magician. Lads, it's nearly Halloween. He's got Bournemouth. Yes, Bournemouth. 2 points off the top. This is outrageous behavior. And just remember, okay, I got in there early. Yeah, the football hipsters like Potter before he was cool. Seriously, they were trying to get in there to nail their flag early doors to Graham Potter before he got famous so that they would look clever, and that eventually backfired on them to such a degree that yes, all football hipster nerds now have egg in their eye. But with me, I am proud of this Iraola backing because every week I'm being proved more and more right. Arsenal 2, West Ham 0. Declan Rice scores against West Ham. Oh, that's gotta sting. This was a pretty routine match to put Arsenal top, but what I think is astonishing is that this was Mikel Arteta's 300th game in charge. Whoever ever saw that coming when he took the job? I remember when he was initially on the shortlist to replace Wenger in 2018, and it looked insane. It reminded me of, 10 years ago, when the brief favourite to replace Alan Pardew as Newcastle boss was Colaccini, the centre-back. Weird. And so yeah, when Arteta eventually got the Gunners job the next year, it looked crazy. But he's now 300 games deep. He's managed Arsenal nearly as many times as Mourinho managed Chelsea. That is crazy. So for Mikel to have lasted this long is outstanding. Everton 2, Crystal Palace 1. Yep, Jack Grealish scored in the 90th minute. The same weekend, Rice scored. And guess what? Guess what? Guess what? 2 names I've got splashed on my back. Oh yes. Yeah. This feels like wearing a kick me sign at school. And yeah, roll the forfeit.
Okay, so for the forfeit, grab yourself a nice new Irish national team kit and put both Rice and Grealish on the back.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy. But look, this is a brilliant Toffees win to fight back from a goal down to beat Palace and to make sure that there's absolutely going to be no invincibles this season. Although I think anyone who actually thought Oliver Glasner was going to match Wenger's feet this year with this Palace squad was probably naive enough to also think that Dumbledore is coming around for tea. Brentford 0, Man City 1. Man City are going to win the league. I'm saying it now. People are sleeping on them early doors because, yeah, they messed up a couple of games in a row. But I'm telling you, they're slowly, silently putting a great run together. And it's matches like these hard-fought but quiet 1-0 away wins that's going to add up and absolutely win them back to the league. And with the best striker in the world up front, absolute guaranteed goals, I think they're winning the league. People don't seem to be scared by Man City anymore, which I think is a mistake, choosing to write them off. It's like the babysitter in a horror film choosing to laugh at the human silhouette in her garden. No, you should take City seriously. I think they're going to win. Wolves 1, Brighton 1.
Here's another one. Isn't this fun? No, it's not. No, it's not. Please, Wolves. Just win a match!
When are Wolves actually gonna win a match? I said they wouldn't spend a single minute in bottom 3 this season. That is now 7 weeks and counting. Look, they got Sunderland and Burnley next. Come on, this is your chance to win those games and climb out of the relegation zone, and maybe then I wouldn't be getting slapped more than Thogden on a night out. I bet he's a pest. Aston Villa 2, Crystal Palace 1. Boy, did Aston Villa need this win. Look, this was a solid Villa win, but for Burnley, I think that, despite the 3 promoted teams starting pretty well, I do think Burnley are just going to be like Burnley from 2014, in that they'll be tough to beat, resilient, and will be in every single match they play this season, and won't get smashed in any match. Seriously, that Dyche outfit in 2015 with Ings up front, they didn't lose a single game that season by more than 2 goals, which for a newly promoted club is pretty impressive. They kept 10 clean sheets, even beat Man City. Still finished second bottom. I think history's repeating itself. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Let me know. How did that game go for you? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, always. I'll talk to you in a while. And finally, I can get this. Get off my back.